And with that absolute fucking chaos, hello, hi, it's been a while. My name's Des, that's my crime. It's also a punishment, one of many punishments I have. And welcome back, it's been a while, to the Messquerade. So let's just tweak the music a little there. So this is something very different. This is the very first time that I'm running, or at least playing in, a one-on-one session. So just the storyteller and the player. Is this something that you've ever done before, oh mysterious player?
I haven't streamed, but I have done session zeros. The most notable was with our friend who played Haraga in The Curse of Strahd.
Ah, yes.
We had to do her a session zero to get her used to the setting and get her into the action. Speaking of, I think she popped to the chat and disappeared again.
Oh,
well,
she's welcome. Well, she's welcome. She's always welcome to lurk. But yeah, this some preamble before we properly get into it. This is a session 0 / one-on-one session. This is something very new and different. We are using the Foundry virtual tabletop. We are also using a very particular module. I had the information for who made it, but this is the World of Darkness 5e, or the WOD5 version of the system. So this was made actually by 1 or 2 people. They kind of did some collaboration. There is Hunter the Reckoning content, or Hunter the Reckoning systems in here. We won't be getting into that, but it is my hope one day in the future where we're going to be playing a Hunter the Reckoning game using the exact same table, the exact same system, with the exact same location, which might be very bad news for our vampires, but that is for the future. Right now, this is Vampire the Masquerade. We are playing V5, not V20. However, there are plans for, let's just say, well, no, let's actually say, I have hopes and plans that in the same location, as in Chicago, we're going to be playing some werewolf, specifically W20. And I will say this, I love the fact that I spent so much time, I've spent months basically working on getting a werewolf the Apocalypse game set up, only for a couple of days ago for them to announce that, yeah, guess what, W5 is now close to release. Werewolf the Apocalypse, the 5th edition, that ties in with what we're playing today, is coming out in the near future, or at least it's getting there. And I'm like, son of a bitch. But we'll see how that goes. That's a future problem. For now, we're going to be playing some V5 in our Chicago by Night Chronicle. Now, before we begin the game itself, it's been a while since we have played this game. I am a new storyteller. Nicola is a new player. We did a 4-session game back in April. We are now in October. And so it's been a while. We've done many other things. So be kind, be generous, and also if I make decisions or rulings, or I read the rules differently as to how they should be, I'm still learning. Also, I am the storyteller. What I say goes. Because I am in charge. And I might just decide that we're going to do it a little bit differently. That's just the way of things. One very last thing. I've been playing around with some new bells and whistles in regards to Twitch and everything. So I'm about to, now Nicola probably won't be able to see it on her end, but those of you watching on Twitch, and watching, I believe, on the Discord call, you're going to see something a little bit new and different. This is a video intro that was created by Smite or Flight. This wasn't made for us. This was a amazing bit of work that they did in Blender. They posted this a couple of months back, and I will be giving a link to their channel in the YouTube video when this goes up on YouTube. But do a search for Smite or Flight and the V5 fan intro, which is called Symbols. But enough of that. I think we will go straight to the video, and welcome to Chicago. So, and welcome back. So, what did we all think? Pretty freaking good. Now, one thing I will say in regards to, future streams and everything, I have a little something else planned for the future, and I might as well show it off now. This is a very impromptu, but I've been playing around with new toys, and we have this.
I always get concerned when you say you have new toys.
Oh yes, you should. You really, really should. But yeah, this is a little countdown. I'm not going to let the whole thing play, but basically, as soon as it counts down to 0, it automatically starts playing the video intro that we just saw. Now, since we've already seen it, I'm not going to subject our audience to that again, but one of the many little tricks and playthings that I'm messing around with. But enough of all that. I think instead what we should do is we should focus on the game ahead of us. So without any further ado, my dear Nicola, I would like you to join me in imagining a world very similar to this one, with a few differences. This is a world of darkness. Now, this world of darkness, as I say, is very similar to the one that you and I live in. It could almost pass for the real world, with a few exceptions. In this world of darkness, the shadows are a little bit longer and deeper. And in this world, this imaginary world that is made up from a collected imagination of people all the way back from the early 90s to now. In this world, there are monsters. Not just vampires, as we'll be exploring a little bit more, but far more than that. Werewolves, ghosts, fae, and even more strange and unusual creatures. But in this world of darkness, much like the regular world, nobody believes in anything like that. Regular everyday people, they just go on about their daily business. They live their normal everyday lives. They get up, they have whatever morning rituals they go through. Some of them work, they enjoy the sun, They live their lives. They spend time with friends and loved ones. And eventually they sleep. While all of that is going on, you, Alice, don't do any of that. Because you're dead. You died...
Only a little bit.
Enough to where it counts. But Alice...
Not dead, I'm mostly dead.
There you go. Well, yeah, Alice... I'd say at this point it's been getting close to a month or so, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Would you like, for those of our audience who haven't seen our previous stuff, and this is a perfect jumping on point, who exactly is Alice, and how would you describe her journey in this world of darkness so far?
Was a small town girl who moved to the big city for the promise of big adventures and such, but she was painfully shy. So she made it to the city and just did not have the social skills to make friends, except via a keyboard. She'd have a friend online for many years, though, a certain Milton, who also lived in the city that she'd been trying to meet up with several times. But he kept blowing her off. She hated her job. She hated where she lived in a tiny, like almost one-bedroom apartment. But finally, she decided she was going to go to one of her, to meet up with her favourite streamer, an occultist. And knowing that her friend Milton was also a fan, she bought him a ticket as well. When she mentioned it to him, in the hopes of meeting up in person, he ghosted her. It broke her little heart. He was her best friend. Online, at least. So, she decided she was going to go out and meet him. She knew his address. So oh, Colin's talking to someone in Discord.
How dare!
She knew his address because she sent him things before. So she headed off and found it in a not really desirable part of town. And when Milton opened the door, she found out that he was not quite what he appeared to be. She spotted Milton and Nosferatu feeding. She got scared and ran. And got lost. As she was trying to figure out how to get out of there, getting her phone out to try and get an Uber, a couple of women approached. It is dangerous to be in this area alone. The girls should stick together. So she did. For safety, at least until her Uber arrived. But these girls led her into a shadowed alley. And bad things happened.
And then I think it's fair to say good things have happened as well.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
He
Alice
technically no longer has to worry about paying rent on that shitty apartment or having to put up with her bitch of a boss.
This is true. So...
She did, however, lose her little ferret.
Yes, Rip Nip. Hashtag Rip Nip. Would you like to explain the story behind that?
So she had a pet ferret, but when she woke up, I botched 2 rise checks in a row to try and heal, which sent her into a blood frenzy. And she would either eat her ferret, who was currently in her hand, because she missed grabbing at a rat, or she would attack Milton. She had ate the ferret, and she was very sad about this.
Such a tragedy.
Rip Nip had been introduced 30 seconds beforehand.
Yes. Although to be fair, yeah, we'd
and spurt.
Yeah, we had, technically, yeah, he has a shorter lifespan than Spurt in Critical Role. Yeah, you're not wrong. We had mentioned that you had a pet or a Bond Familius earlier. I believe there was a tattoo in the second episode. Yeah, Alice is also a unique individual in that she has had a tattoo since she's been turned. A tattoo that hasn't gone anywhere. That was by another Nosferatu, a woman by the name of Edith Bobain. But on that character in the future. So, that is Alice as to bring her up to speed. We currently find ourselves in the city, as we mentioned earlier, of Chicago. Chicago by night. It's a city filled to the brim with people. It has a very unique flavour. Now, full disclosure, above table, I have never been to Chicago. And I believe you have not been to Chicago either. So, as we mentioned at the start, this is an imagined version of Chicago. The accuracy and so on and so forth is probably not going to be there. However, there are certain things that make Chicago a very unique location. Not just the North and South Divide, you know, with the various football teams, Cubs, all that jazz, the baseball. One of the things that defines Chicago and has appeared in many a movie is its very unique system of public transportation, also known as the L train. The L train is a system that connects through the majority of the city. Large train systems that go above the streets. It covers a good chunk of the city, and it is filled pretty much constantly with people. It's a perfect place to get around if you don't own a car or anything. And it is in one of these carriages that we find Alice on her way home. Now, more bookkeeping and bringing our viewers up to speed. For your benefit, Alice, this is the same night that you left your new friends, your group. It's also the same night, I believe, that you acquired a trophy from your little adventure in the park.
Two of them.
Two of them. Please refresh my memory.
From the one we killed as a group, and then the one that was on the car.
This is correct. Yes, I forgot actually. Yes, you and your group teamed up with two individuals and their associates. Was Alice there when these people were named, or was she just along for the ride?
She was mostly along for the ride, but they did introduce themselves. One of whom she recognized as the man who was in charge of the vampire that turned her.
Yes. Now, let us make a brief clarification about that specific vampire. You were turned specifically by Milton, your sire. However, you were attacked and left for dead by that girl, whose name you never really got, but the one. It's a complicated little story, but we will get into it as we progress. But yes, there were two specific women who were in charge of this little group that he was a part of. One of them was introduced to you as Rosa Hernandez. The other was named Anita Wainwright. And the gentleman that you were referring to, Duke, he is the, not so much a sire, but he is the owner of the online pagan and YouTuber and streamer that you were a fan of, a woman by the name of Bruja, also known as Isabella to her friends. The twisted web that we weave. But during the fight, Duke did not impress you or the rest of the group that much, and was a bit embarrassed by one of your new friends, Grigori. You believe they're called Banu Hakim? Yeah, that's what he was introduced as. But your friend Grigori took you all back to his mansion. You all had a bit of a conversation about going forward with things, and you have since said your farewells for the rest of the night, and you are heading back home.
I believe we had to stay the day because it got too close to dawn.
Okay, you are absolutely correct. Yes, it's been a while, but yes, you are absolutely correct. So, it is now the start of a brand new evening, and you are making your way back to Milton. Does that seem acceptable?
Was the errand run by Grigori's human servants?
I'm so sorry, refresh my memory. Which errand?
Grigori promised to send one of them to a pet shop.
Ah, yes. That is... yes. Okay then, so since it's the start of a new day, we will say in retrospect, I want you to first of all give me a rouse check. First roll of the game!
Alright, this was a better open my character sheet, hadn't I?
Yes.
Rise.
So, basically, yeah, it's going to be on the top right-hand side.
Ah, success.
Beautiful.
I don't immediately eat the new ferret.
Well done. So yes. Yeah. Would you like to describe your new pet?
I would say it's a little bandit ferret. The standard colorings of white belly, brown fur, little black paws, and little black mask and snoot.
Adorable. Now, at this exact moment,
Shall name him Back Up.
You'll name them what?
Back Up.
Back. Yes. So, at this exact moment, as you first encounter Backup, the animal kind of tenses up a little as it is brought to your room. It hisses and looks to get out of its cage, get anywhere it can away from you. Because at this exact moment, you have not yet used your blood, the Bond Familius, which is one of your abilities. So, again, session 0, let us double check the process for that.
When blood-bodying an animal, the vampire can make it a familius, forming a mental link with it and facilitating the use of other animalism powers. While this power alone does not allow two-way communication with the animal, it can follow simple verbal instructions such as stay, come here. It attacks in self-defense and its in defense of itself and its master, but cannot otherwise be persuaded to fight something it would not normally attack.
Okay.
The animal must be fed the user's blood on 3 separate nights, each of which requires a rouse check by the user. The amount of blood needed to sustain the ghoul state of the animal after this is negligible. Players starting to use this power have completed the process can choose a familius for free.
So we actually didn't go through that process because you'd had it for a little bit while, but unfortunately with Backup, you are going to have to wait 3 nights before they behave a little less like a mad, feral, caged, almost like a possum, basically. So, are you going to try feeding them some of your blood now, or are you going to wait until you get to your haven?
Probably do it before I leave. That way I think I can kind of calm it down.
Okay. Give me another arouse check, if you'd be so kind. Nice. Oh dear. Well, here is the thing. You do, no matter what happens with a rouse check, you always succeed in what you're trying to do. You always are able to activate your powers and this, that, and the other. However, you do get a little bit hungrier as you're heading out. And backup does seem to calm down a little bit, but it does seem a little bit wary. You know, it sort of hunkers down. It's just kind of looking at you suspiciously.
We're going to well, now wait, she had this voice, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
She was from down south. Don't worry, little darling. We'll get you home and get you all situated right. She's gonna pack him into a little travel box.
Glorious. Okay, so you head back onto the L train. You're making your way through the city. At this point in time, would you please let me know how hungry is Alice right now?
I believe I have 2 dots.
You have 2 points of hunger. You basically, at this point in time, you are not at any real danger of snapping and, you know, ripping into the train carriage. Speaking of, we should probably move to the carriage itself. There we go. At this point, you're not in any real danger of attacking anyone, but you are aware of the fact that you are surrounded by people. And again, I do apologize, just rewind the clock a little bit. New storyteller. Alice, you are, as we see on screen, a Nosferatu. One of the problems with being a Nosferatu is you are hauntingly hideous. Your face, your physical form has elongated, stretched. You are somewhat malformed. Your ear, one of them at least, is larger than the other. It is, and your fangs are intensely visible. You still dress as you feel and so on, but unfortunately, going out and about without some sort of preparation is very, very dangerous for you. So, looking at your character sheet again, we go over to the second tab, which says Disciplines.
Yes, you're referring to the Mask of 1,000 Faces.
Yes.
Instead of disappearing, the vampire using this power can make themselves appear as nondescript stranger. Someone expected to be present in an area. This also sounds like an issue that could be solved with a hoodie and a scarf.
This is true, so I am going to make the choice up to you, because of course Mask of 1,000 Faces does require a rouse check, like most vampiric powers. No matter what, it will succeed. However, you might get hungrier. The other side of things is, without your obfuscate, you are basically someone who is in close proximity with a large number of non-vampires. And the risk of being exposed increases. The choice is entirely up to you, the player.
Lori, can I get a lift?
You see, you say that and it completely derails, haha, pun intended, the entire thing that I had planned. So, I would say I would say that the drivers are currently out and about at the moment. The other members of your colliery are everyone's kind of split apart at the moment. They each have their own little thing going on, and you elected to make your own way down. However, as soon as you stepped outside, you realized, shit. Does that seem a little bit too railroady, or does that seem fair?
No, that's fine. That's fine. Oh, no, they deactivated my Uber account because someone reported me as dead. That's just bullshit.
So, which decision have you decided to make in regards to your appearance? Are you rousing the blood and using the ability, or are you just relying on the Chicago weather and bundling up your scarf, earmuffs, and everything else as best you can?
I think I'll risk the Rose track because she is like really self-conscious because she is an unsanctioned vampire.
There is that as well. Success. Right. You do not get hungrier, but you are now generic. Unobserved. You're not invisible. People move around you and, you know, their eyes glance at you and then glance away, but you are relatively left alone. You're able to find a seat. Some other older woman sits next to you. The train is pretty filled as it rattles around the various tracks across Chicago as you make your way further up north, closer towards the entrance to your haven, which is the Chicago Pedway. Now, before we proceed there, what I would like Alice to do is I would like Alice to give me a roll. I would like you... Let's see what is going to be good for you. Make an awareness and wits roll. Difficulty of 3. That is a failure. In fact, that is what we like to refer to as a bestial failure. Now, this wasn't an active roll, but I would say this: you are deeply distracted at the moment, and so you
back up, countdown. So try to escape.
Yes, I would actually say this. While you did give it some of your blood, backup is unfortunately starting to, get twitchy and panic again, it being so close to a dangerous predator such as yourself. Yeah. And the older woman who's next to you kind of gives you a bit of a look, and eventually she gets off, you think probably a few stops earlier than she would have liked to, but, she probably... didn't want to hang around for much longer there. One or two people do glance at you and everything, and as you're looking around, you recognize one of the people who is glancing in your direction. There's a woman across the way. She's busy chatting to another girl. This woman is wearing baggy clothing, not bundled up despite the cold weather. She has dirty blonde strawberry hair, baggy clothes, a very distinctive and familiar leather jacket. You never got her name. But you know exactly.
Also, hello everyone.
Hello.
You
Hello,
just
D.
scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. I mean, it's a horror
I'm so
game,
sorry. I just wanted to let everybody know I was okay. I was back from surgery and I'm okay. That's all.
That's good.
I'm so glad to hear that, honey. For real.
I'm glad to hear that, sweetheart.
Yeah.
I shall give Lucy.
Is it okay if I listen in?
Of
Yes,
course.
you are all absolutely welcome to listen in, yes.
Thank you. I'll go quiet again.
You're
Sorry
good.
to scare anybody.
You're good. But yes, you recognize this individual. as the one who dragged you into an alley with her friends proceeded to ask, does this smell like chloroform? And grabbed your face with a very unpleasant smelling rag. Thanks to your ability, you know that she doesn't recognize you. You recognize her as she chats away to the person sitting next to her. Your stop is coming up. What would you like to do, Alice?
What's your key, Raph?
Can I try and surreptitiously take a photo with her with my mobile to track down later?
Okay, yeah. Let's make that a call it a stealth plus, I would say, stealth and composure. And the difficulty is going to be, let's see, I would say I'm going to make a roll. Just leave the difficulty as it is. You make your stealth and composure roll, and I'm going to give her a wits and awareness, and we will see who. Let's see. Roll is the darkest of rollers. Come on, chat window. There we go. Okay.
Alice and Jaffe would be proud.
Yes. So you have 4 successes. As far as you're aware, she does not see you. She's too busy engaged with the other person, and you can see now she is all but in this girl's lap. She's got her arm round her, stroking this girl's hair. And she looks to be like some kind of, like, I don't know, librarian or, you know, office worker or something. But this girl with a leather jacket is just all over her. But you take your picture. And it gets to the point where it is now time for your stop. So, what do you do?
It's very obvious that this woman she's all over is not another vampire, yeah.
Well, you don't know that for certain. This could easily be another vampire or kindred, as you guys are known. It's possible that this is a mortal, or this is someone she's just flirting with. You honestly don't know for certain, but you would be forgiven for believing that this is a mortal.
No. In all honesty, not Alice's problem right now.
Okay. So.
She'll get to her whenever she doesn't have such precious cargo.
Yes. Good to know. Okay. So, we find ourselves back onto the streets of Chicago. As Sirenscape shits the bed.
It's still playing for me.
Oh, it's playing for you. Oh, good. Oh, good. It's just on my end. There's lots of heavy gaps in between going to the different scenes. But anyway, my old gripes aside, we find ourselves back on the streets. You see the train beginning to head off again as you are now on the ground level. And you are close to one of the main entrances to the Pedway. Now, for those of you not from Chicago, the Chicago Pedway is a collection of different passages, corridors, and connective tunnels that intertwine with a whole host of different city blocks all over the center of the city. It is perfect for pedestrians and shoppers and so on who want to avoid the various extreme weathers, whether it be the extreme heat or the extreme cold. of Chicago. It is also absolutely perfect for vampires such as yourself to lurk in, and it has been claimed pretty much exclusively, to your knowledge, by the Nosferatu as a whole. Your haven is basically, or rather the sewers where your haven is, are reachable through here. There are other locations that you could go, but the Pedway is usually one of the best places to check out. Now, my question, as you begin to walk through the various corridors and heading towards the Pedway, how hungry is Alice feeling, and would she want to acquire a little something on the way?
She still only has 2 out of 5, and she knows Millie keeps some things on ice.
This is true, because as we have mentioned in previous games, Alice is what is referred to as a bagger. She prefers bagged blood. Or rather, at least that's what she has her main experience with. Is that correct?
Yeah. Bags and rats, mostly.
And rats, yes. You... Now, forgive me, we're jumping back and forth asking many questions here. If memory serves, unless you wish to change this detail about your character, Alice has only ever drunk from one person other than Milton. And this was...
I think she drank from a thrall at the party.
I was about to say, the only other person was a, as you say, a thrall. A ghoul that she met at the interesting soiree that she was at a few nights ago.
It would have been rude to decline when her master offered so kindly.
And it was also, since the first time that you drank from a person, you were kind of surprised at how flavorless it was. Now, bagged blood isn't delicious. Let's get that out of the way right now, even though you can stomach it and you have developed a preference to it. To call it delicious is... It's going a bit far. You wouldn't admit it to anyone else though, but the most delicious blood you ever had was your dear former pet that you drained dry.
Mostly followed by the cocaine rush that was werewolf blood.
This is true, yes, you've had werewolf blood as well, yeah, an interesting cocktail of experiences that Alice has had back to back. But yes.
To be fair, he tried to eat me.
This is very true. This is very, very true. So, the question now is, do you... I'm assuming the answer is yes, but are you going to head straight home, or do you want to try something a little bit different?
Curious as to what you have in mind.
Well, I'm just curious. Now that Alice is aware that there are different ways of getting blood, you could go hunting. Try and track down a person and see if you can acquire blood from them. You do know enough to know that you don't have to kill them. More often than not, people can be... You have been told that people can get forgetful if you do it right. You don't have much in the way of practical training from Milton. Milton's been a little bit wishy-washy on giving you any real solid details on anything for the most part. It's entirely up to you.
He's kind of terrified of what's happened.
Yeah.
She will consider it for a moment, and then think, no, I think Milton's going to have enough to blow his top over.
This is very true. Very well then. So,
It's going to kind of be hard to sneak up on someone whenever you have a weasel going mental in your backpack.
yes! Oh, it's in the backpack. You see, I had this mental image of you've got like a carrier that you...
Oh yeah, it's in like the little pet carrier box
Yeah.
that I put in the backpack because it's cold. You have to keep the little peanut guard
Oh,
warm.
I'm assuming there are some... You've opened the top of the backpack a little bit so it can breathe.
Oh yeah.
Of course. Just double checking. I'm not that kind of
may-
asshole DM.
I may be a monster, but I'm not cruel to animals.
Back up in the backpack.
At least the ones I like.
So, with back up in the backpack, you head into the pedway itself. Now, after going through a few buildings, the thing that strikes you the most about the pedway is the fact that it's almost like its own miniature city, a self-contained environment. There are so many different businesses, banks, hotels, offices, hospitals, and more that are all connected through this location. As you're heading down, you see like the gym for a hotel or a swimming pool behind glass. You see various fast food places like I lost the name of it, it's fine. Various fast food places.
Ooh,
You
McDonald's.
yeah,
I do miss my nuggies.
yeah, there are McDonald's. There are also one or two other places, such as, surprisingly enough, there's a 24/7 Magadon Pharmaceuticals. There's a Avalon Toys, factory. Basically, almost like Build-A-Bear, but they have things like Mr. Mystic and so on. Lots of toys from the early 90s, from when you were a kid. There was all kinds of different things, and it's this very surreal underground feeling of just people shopping and people going from place to place within this self-contained little pocket with no sky. There is only these constant turning concrete corners. But eventually you get close to one of the more quiet areas of the pedway, and you're looking around waiting for the path to clear, when you hear a little from over your shoulder.
I look to see who it is.
There is nobody there. Give me a wits and awareness, if you'd be so kind. Or awareness and wits. I always have to reverse it because of the way the character sheet works.
Any difficulty?
Call it 3.
Is it Millie poking out of a grate somewhere?
4 successes, and that's a messy critical. Okay, it's a messy critical. This is where things get fun. For those of you who don't know, a messy critical means that you succeed in an extreme fashion. Now, fortunately, there are no other people around here at the moment, but you hear this little cough, and instantly you whirl around, grab this person, this invisible person, and slam them up against a wall. Before you, very surprised and struggling to breathe as your hand is around their windpipe, which is ironic since you guys don't breathe, is a figure you have never seen before. Another Nosferatu, you would assume. Long black hair, well dressed, leather jacket, sort of like a glitter covered band shirt, very tight leather leggings, and high heeled shoes. They absolutely taken aback. They kind of look at you in real surprise. They say, sorry, was it Alice?
Oh, yes. Sorry, you kind of startled me there for a moment.
Yeah.
Just gonna let go, but still be kind of on guard.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Didn't mean to spook you or anything. I've been looking for you. I'm very sorry. My name's Rowan. We should probably not be here looking like this. Well, after
You know that's fair.
he opens the seat. Basically, there's a small section of the pedway that's blocked off to the public, which was where he was waiting. He, gestures for you to go in first.
Yeah, she does.
Okay. You guys eventually, you move down the side corridors, the utility tunnels, and eventually you find yourselves in this location here, the actual sewers themselves of Chicago.
It smells like home.
Yeah, at least we're out of sight. I am so sorry about spooking you like that. I wasn't sure if it was you. It's just you knew where to look for, the doors and everything. So I figured you were one of us, or now I think of it, you were probably one of the utility workers. But anyway, sorry. Hi, yeah, I'm babbling. They sort of brush their hair to the side a bit, and you see they're covered with these really intricate looking tattoos. They have actually makeup on as well, fairly decent shade that kind of matches their skin. They are haunting to look at, large bat-like wings, and while they have a very effeminate, almost like female presenting, you're not too sure if they are like gender fluid or whatever, but there's definitely a mix of masculine and feminine in their presentation. But yes, sorry. As I said, my name's Rowan. I was told to look for you. Have you ever heard of an individual by the name of Bertie?
Ourselves?
For reference, Bertie was one of Bluebird's associates.
Oh, was that the creepy guy?
It's the very creepy guy.
Like, or the beard who really creeped Alice out?
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Oh.
Did he cause some trouble?
No. He paid me to find you. He wanted to give you a message.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, he was. Right. Okay. So, brace yourself for a little bit of a shock. You're aware of an individual by the name of Bluebird, right? She's a Toreador? Well...
A bit intense, but a sweetheart.
Apparently there was a incident at her home, Haven, last night. There was a fire. Apparently the police haven't reported anybody going missing, but she is not around. Nobody knows where she is, and Bertie is concerned. So he was putting out the feelers, trying to find information about her whereabouts, what's going on, and so on. And he wanted to let you, because apparently you're connected to her, to know that he is looking into it, to stay careful, maybe stay off the streets or at least stay hidden, which, I mean, you can do the thing. He gestures with his face, so you should be okay there. Just be careful where you're going and who you're talking to.
Oh. Has he asked you to relay this message to anyone else?
No, just you. There was a little bit more. He said as soon as you, if you wish, to get in touch with him. Apparently, Bluebird said for him to take care of you. I don't know your situation or anything, but that's, the general gist.
She's trying to hide an arched eyebrow and a oh no kind of face. But I see. And does he suspect that this was an accident and she had to flee before the authorities showed up? Because of... Does the little rar face action?
Honestly, over the past few hours, this happened getting close to the end of the night. Since the start of this night and everything, there's been a lot of talk, and I've been hearing a few things. A lot of people like us are worried that there might be hunters in the city.
Hunters?
Yeah. You know about the hunters, right?
My friend mentioned them in passing, but he said he hadn't been any in the city for a while.
Yeah, I don't know much about that myself. I try and, stay clear of, most of people like us. I prefer to do my own thing, but the bigger ones, the higher ups, they say that there might be some hunter activity. It's being looked into by, the Caramilla, and most people are being, everybody is being told that for the foreseeable future to consider Chicago under a yellow alert, which means nobody, it's not as bad as a red alert. It just means that everybody needs to keep their eyes and ears open, avoid being suspicious, avoid anybody who looks suspicious and they don't know. And I know we don't know each other, I'm saying that, but and just not so much emergency, burn everything, go to ground. That's the red alert. The red alert's bad. We're more in yellow alert. That makes sense.
Oh, a little bit of a mini lockdown. Keep your head down, ears open.
Pretty much. But if you don't mind me asking, I'm so sorry.
Surgical mask out of the pocket and puts them on. Goddamn lockdowns. No.
But anyway, they say, so forgive me for asking. I've been around a little while. I mean, I've been about a year or two. I've not seen you at any of the gatherings or anything. Are you new in the city?
Oh yeah, I'm from a little bit further south, down around Lafayette.
I picked it up in the accent. Yeah. Have you presented yourself?
Not yet. I've only really had a few contacts in the city, and he's a little reluctant.
Oh, so you do have someone. I mean, because I was going to say, because clearly you know where to go. I mean, you're here. You know that we run the area. So who is it that you're with? So you do have somebody who's keeping an eye on you, right?
Yes. A dear friend of mine, we met through work.
Okay,
His name's Milton. He's the one who invited me up here, where it was a little bit safer. Let's just say there was a lot of puppies down in my area.
Wait, puppies? I love puppies. Well, I mean, they don't love me anymore, but... Oh.
Okay,
I always
a
want...
little bit less obvious. The large two-legged kind.
They look completely
Werewolves, Johnny, I'm
oblivious.
talking about werewolves.
Wait, werewolves are real? No, you're pulling my leg. I didn't know werewolves... No, werewolves aren't real.
I'm afraid they are, sweetheart.
Oh shit! Wait, so you were you were chased out by them or something?
Let's just say where I came from, there wasn't a lot of us, and they were getting a little bit too close for comfort.
Oh wow! I mean, oh wow! Damn. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm glad you're safe up here. I mean, as far as I'm aware, there's no werewolves in these parts. I mean, but you know, hey, what do I know? You know, I've only lived in Chicago for, you know, like most of my life. I'm a performer, by the way. I go with like the you know, the Wandering Circus and everything. We perform in Central Park most nights. Clearly at night. But no, you should come visit. Should come and see our show sometime.
Does sound fun.
Yeah.
Quick point of clarification. Wasn't Central Park where we went the other night to hunt the werewolves?
No, ma'am. The location that you guys were in, I will actually bring it up on the map because I have that and I can do things like that. So, for context and clarification, let me just open some folders. Doop-a-doop-a-doop.
Also, to clarify, if anyone is confused, this was the backstory that she and Milton cooked up because she's an unauthorized vampire. No one asked permission to turn her, so she's technically illegal. So this is the story they cooked up, that she came from a very tiny enclave way down south.
It's a good story too. But yeah, this location here, this was where Grigori's mansion is. We're currently kind of like the middle of Chicago at the moment, but the location you guys were in, I believe it was one of these parks more around here. So way off the beaten path. Also, by the way, I just realized Central Park is in New York, so...
Yeah, I was wondering. I wasn't going to say anything.
No, you should have. No, please, you should. They have...
I do know there's an amphitheater, I think either in this park... Oh, why am I clicking on that? That's not a map. I was looking at the fucking string. There is a... Wait, why can't I scroll on the map?
Oh, it's locked. It's a lock view.
Oh, okay. Yeah. There's an amphitheater either here, in this park, or near the zoo. But I can't remember if I'm mixing this up with Seattle.
Yeah.
You can say
all it says, all it says is they have they hang around in a bunch of artist communes and places like that. It doesn't actually give an exact location, so yeah. You can find out in Chicago by Night. Available from Onyx Path Press. Yeah. But anyway, moving back onto that scene. Rowan...
Lance is a little bit surprised, considering that she went out with a bunch of people to deal with werewolves. I thought that would have been common knowledge that they were in the city. So, to have this other Nosferatu tell her werewolves don't exist, she's a little bit confused about that.
Yeah. But yeah, is everything okay? You seem a little bit, confused. I mean,
I'm just... I had heard that there were a few packs of werewolves up this way, and I'm just genuinely surprised you haven't heard of them.
Well, I mean, a full disclosure, as I say, I don't really spend that much time chatting to, you know, a lot of other people like us. You know, there are one or two who are nice, like Joaquina. He's great. But and you know, Mr. Calhoun, he's like our I mean, he's not a representative. He's you know, he's a pretty important figure in the city and everything. But other than them, I don't really chat to many other, kindred, and I've only been around a year. I just kind of presented myself, was, at One Elysium, and since then, I just I leave the politics alone and just, do my own thing. So no one's really told me that much. The person who made me, she didn't really get to stay around to have a conversation about this kind of thing, so...
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, sweetie.
She's not, like, dead or anything. It's just, her sire, my grandsire, he's a little... So, quick question.
Yes,
What is your opinion on, well, from the accent and everything, I guess you're from the south, what is your opinion on, well, let's say religion?
I think it's more an excuse to keep the witless masses in line, to be honest.
Whew, okay, so, yeah, my grandsire? He's this guy by the name of Nathaniel Baldruff, and he is like the most old school southern psychopath priest type person you can think of. He is a scary he's a scary man, and
Baptist or evangelical?
Honestly, I don't know do I look like someone who would know the difference?
Well,
no, that's
what?
fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, I didn't have much of a religious upbringing, but he found out.
I was trying to think of a way to describe the difference, but they're both renting loons, so there's no point in me trying.
Alice, thank you. I appreciate your point of view, and I appreciate me and another ally. But yeah, my sire, the grandsire, found out, and she's not allowed out anymore. And I was told in no uncertain terms, if I were to ever go within 100 miles, or well, not 100 obviously, but you know what I mean, to go anywhere near them, I would be spending a morning outside. So
Unpleasant.
Very.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
So not all of us are nice, and not all of us are really communicative. So I don't know everything. I don't know much, to be fair, but I got mine. I got my friends. I got people who I work with, play with, and don't judge me. And so, and there are some good people in this community. As I say, Joaquin, he's he's a bit gruff. He's a little bit brusque and everything, but he's nice. He's a nice guy. And Mr. Calhoun, he's everything that Mr. Baldruff isn't. Nathaniel Baldruff isn't. Mr. Calhoun is one of the nicest, most decent men I have ever met. I think you honestly, once, if you are going to present yourself, I should have a chat with him. He's connected, with the Caramilla and everything. So if you need any kind of help, just let him know that Rowan sent you, and hopefully that'll be enough. If not, I'll try and get Joaquin to have a talk with him.
It's lovely to hear. Where can I find this gentleman?
Oh, Mr. Baldruff? Yeah, he actually has some offices in the city, but you can easily reach them through, the sewers and everything. He gives you a location. It's more of like the business district. At the moment, the storyteller has forgotten the exact map reference and everything, but he gives you the basic information to find this Mr. Calhoun. But yeah, let me just double check. Bluebird gone missing. Burley look after you, and you're Alice and Milton. That correct?
Yes.
Oh, well, is there anything else I can do for you?
Well, I would like to say we'll make a new friend in town. We should get together and chat a little later.
Absolutely. Also, by the way, I love your dress. That is so... Is that actual Fangoria? That is awesome.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I want one just like it. So good.
Oh, yeah, Alice is like a total goth, too, by the way.
Yes, yeah, we kind of skipped over that, but definitely like an Elvira type Morticia vibe.
One of the reasons she didn't fit in at home in her ultra-conservative home.
Yeah.
And I want to point out that probably during the entirety of this conversation, there has been a ferret going absolutely fucking mental.
Oh yeah, the ferret hates this. It hates this. Back up is your backpack is, well, clearly, you know, I don't want to disturb you if you've got some, you know, lunch and everything. So I'm going to make my tracks. One thing I forgot to do. And please do forgive me. I put the wrong scene up. As you guys are heading down the corridor, you hear... I wouldn't say a coughing, but you do hear some movement from further down, some echoing of stones clattering, that kind of thing. And a slight murmuring and a mumbling. Rowan instantly tenses up and goes, and it is coming towards you. Can you go like this? And they turn invisible.
I believe she has Cloak of Shadows.
Let us double check your character sheet. Yes, you do have Cloak of Shadows. Now, it doesn't require a rouse check. However, it does mean that you are, you can't move.
Okay, Alice is gonna press herself up against the wall in like the least likely place someone's gonna walk past, and then use this ability.
Okay, the cost is free. You don't need any kind of rouse check or anything. But as you are doing that, around the corner, you see another figure. This figure is wearing somewhat, I wouldn't say tatty, but well-worn clothing. Greys and blacks, almost like a worker's jacket. You know, a workman's sort of boots. A hoodie that is actually pulled down, revealing a clearly inhuman visage. Pale skin, weird, almost like, you know, I mean, basically the picture says it all. Tiny shrunken ears, well, a twitching nose, and clearly visible fangs. Yes.
Another Nosferatu.
Another Nosferatu. The figure has not seen you because you are both invisible. However, as it is coming across between the two of you, what are your intentions? Do you intend to reveal yourself? You notice that Rowan has yet to reveal themselves.
I'm gonna follow Rowan's lead on this one and stay hidden.
Very well. Would you please give me a stealth and resolve? Difficulty for this one is I would say a 2.
Alrighty then.
Meets it, beats it. 2 successes. The figure, so you see it's like picking something out of its teeth and muttering to itself. As they're going past, you hear, it's getting worse and worse. No. I need to figure out a new strategy. Maybe a new location. Following me? I don't. Oh, yeah, they're gonna find out. They're gonna find out. Oh, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. Come on, come on. Pull it together. Pull it together. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Yes, everything is fine. Yes. What was the voice again? No. Was it more Eastern European? Yes. Yes. There we go. Everything will be fine. And the figure.
Is him switching voices, or is that you forgetting the accent?
That's him. He is playing around with the accent. As the Nosferatu finally settles on an accent, he wanders around the corner and is eventually out of view.
Well, that was weird.
Huh? Rowan looks somewhat shaken up. That? I think that was Mr. Khalid. Or Khalid? I don't remember how they pronounce it, but he's like the Nosferatu. He's like the Primogen. You know, like the voice of the Nosferatu in Chicago. He's like the big dude.
Oh. Shit.
I mean, I guess it makes sense. This is his territory as well as everybody else's, but yeah. Ooh. Not a bad person. He's just, he's old. You know, like, old. And, you know, the older ones, I don't know how new you are, but basically the older you are, the more you are, you know? And he's old.
Yes, I got that drift.
Sorry, yeah, I'm still a little bit nervous about, like, you
Remind
know.
me, Nosferatu were like one of the first vampires types, weren't they?
Well, here is the thing. I would say this both above table and in-game. Alice knows nothing about the history of Nosferatu, by and large. Milton hasn't explained anything above table. I would say this. By and large, all vampires existed at the same time. There isn't so much one strain. We might get into that in the future, but it's not so much like the Nosferatu came first and everyone else came from them. It's more a case of all the different bloodlines, all the different types of vampires, all believe they came from the same source. So, if that helps.
Okay. Yeah, unfortunately, as I said, I come from a very tiny enclave. I don't have much in the way of history.
Right, well, I mean, I don't know much, but basically, you know what, you have a chat with your sire. They should bring you up to speed, but if they don't know everything, let me know. Get in touch, and I'll arrange a meeting with like Joaquina or Mr. Calhoun. You know, they'll definitely be able to give you like a more detailed answer than I could.
It's wonderful. Well, I must say, Rowan, it has been an absolute pleasure speaking with you.
Oh, it's been a real delight. You stay safe, all right, and have yourself a good one.
I do certainly intend to. And maybe I'll check out one of your shows in the near future.
Oh, I'd love to. Now we are a group called the Burners. So there's a lot of like fire eating and so on. Obviously, I can't really do that anymore. But you know, we do all these other things. So I do know that we kind of get spooked by fire, but don't worry, everything's safe. Everything's sane, consensual, and all that other stuff. So. With that having been said, you're always welcome.
Very well. Goodbye, Madonna.
Good night. Take care. And Rowan leaves you to your travels. The rest of the trip is fairly uneventful. You eventually find yourselves back on the screen that we had earlier. And
just as she's at earshot, I was like, oh my god. Just lying through her teeth the entire time. She's like, oh god. Good, he didn't notice.
Well, they didn't notice. But yeah. So yes. Is there anything Alice wishes to do aside from attempt to hyperventilate, even though she can't breathe?
Just calm herself and start making her way home. Because I don't think she's been home in like 2 or 3 nights at this stage.
It has
She
been a
sent
while.
She sent Milton a text message to be like, hey, I'm alive, but he's probably worried sick.
So, that having been said, we eventually find ourselves in the Haven. It is, you know, hidden, a small basement that was converted into a very comfortable apartment. One of those many lost rooms when the tunnels that connected Chicago's various businesses were locked up. The scene that I have used for the backdrop here shows one of these various tunnels, a whole network that was built back in the early days of Chicago that connected all of these different businesses and companies that were designed to ship goods and not have to deal with the various roads and congestions above. In the real world, these were prone to flooding and were eventually sealed off completely. However, in our world, they are, of course, home to the Nosferatu and nothing else, of course.
Pretty sure in the real world there's a whole bunch of homeless colonies in them, but...
Oh, well, yes, most likely. But they're really fascinating places. They're great history, so do recommend people check that out. But yes, it is in one of the basements of a building that no longer exists that you guys have your haven. And you are finally reunited with your sire, the tiny 4.5-foot Milton.
Oh my god, she's back. Oh, I was so worried. Oh, let me have a look at you.
I'm sorry, sweetheart. I tried to get back a little sooner, but... well, daylight caught up with me.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you were able to get here safe and everything. And what the heck is this?
He points to the backpack.
It's a work in progress, a little replacement. She's gonna go and deposit this ferret in her ferret cage.
Right, okay, yeah, fair enough. Probably just a couple of days like we did with Nip, and yeah, everything will be fine. No worries, little fella, you'll be all right.
As he goes near the cage, of course, the ferret is just freaking out. It's like,
yeah, well, no worries. They'll get used to us eventually. But no, I'm so glad that you're back home. I missed you.
No, I missed you too, honey. I did get you a little present.
Oh, what did you get?
She's going to rummage around in her pockets and produce one of the werewolf fangs.
What is this? Oh, wow. It's like
That is, remember I said that Bluebird wanted me to do a little job with Grigori and such?
Right, yeah.
As that we went a little hunting for a nuisance. Now don't worry, there was quite a lot of us, and we did have a lot of people with experience, but we kind of sort of went and killed a few werewolves.
The tooth drops to the floor.
I'm sorry.
Now, werewolves? You and a bunch of people, not just you and your friends, but other people that we don't know, went and dealt with werewolves. like werewolves, and you took a tooth from a werewolf, and you brought the tooth home to our home.
Well, Grigori said it would be fine.
Yeah, this Grigori fella. Refresh my memory. How did you meet him again? He was a friend of Miss Bluebird's, right?
Yes, I'll tell you about him.
Yes, yeah, no. Who's he with again?
Remember?
I would say you would remember that he is I would say he's mentioned it, he's a Banu Hakim, and also there was a lot of talk about him, having been part of the Camarilla.
She's going to basically explain that.
Milton doesn't calm down. With every single bit of information, he gets more and more white.
Don't worry, Milton. He's ready to have my back should any questions come up.
Right. Okay. So, just to unpack everything that's been going on, I let you out of my sight for 2 days. And in that time, you team up with a bunch of Camarilla to instigate another race war with the werewolves. Who we have this whole thing with who werewolves, as you've seen, are lethal. And you survived. You survived, and that's good, but now you bring a piece of werewolf with you. You do know they can smell, right?
Well, to be fair, it wasn't one piece, it was two, which pulls out the other tooth.
Oh my god.
And Grigori said it would be fine. They wouldn't be able to track it down here.
Okay, were you followed? You weren't followed or anything? You didn't see anyone on, the bus or this, that, and the other? I mean, at the very least, he gave you a ride, right? You didn't have to get public transport or anything. That's just me being a dick, by the way. Give me, since you are now actively lying to dear Millie, give me a...
She's being obvious, and she doesn't...
I see.
She's like,
okay.
It's like, yes? It's like she doesn't want to upset him, but she also can't really lie to him.
Oh, fuck.
Can I jump in really quick and say something very fast for y'all?
Sure.
Jonas, some people in a house?
Yeah, she's not gonna mention that because that creeped her the fuck out.
Oh, yeah.
No, I was referencing Mads with her discussion with Rascal.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd you get it from? Some people in a house?
When you stole the shit from the shop.
Yeah.
I'll let you get back to your game, but I couldn't resist
then
when you said...
Then determined you had to kill the only witness, a cat.
The cat knew everything. The cat needed to go. But anyway, back to this.
She's not gonna mention that, but it's like, well, I did use that little trick you showed me about, changing my face, and I was kept to myself. I was fine, Millie. I'm used to making myself look invisible in public spaces.
I mean, look, yes, and thank you. I'm glad you did that at least, but look, Lupins can do things. They can smell you. They can track you. They can. I've heard stories that they can do all kinds of things, and I'm just sorry. I'm just really on edge. I'm just really paranoid, and I just don't want you getting hurt, and I don't want you bringing danger to us, and I think that's you killed a werewolf. That's amazing. You're amazing. But oh my gosh, this is so dangerous.
Millie, don't worry. I'm a minor cog in this. If anything's gonna happen, they're gonna go after Grigori, and he says it will be fine. They're not gonna dare.
Well, hopefully you're right. Hopefully you're right there, Bob. Oof.
But they're not gonna be insane as to make their way into a stronghold of Nosferatu.
So, about that, he pulls up a chair and, pulls up a chair for you as well and sits down. Should probably have a conversation. It's something I've been meaning to do for a while, but, kind of keep putting it off. Do you sit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Alice, why do you think we hide underground?
He just kind of motions to her face.
Yeah, I used to think it was that as well, but yeah, eventually my sire took me to a gathering, and we had a conversation. I've been obviously keeping you out of current politics with the other Nos and all that, because I was working on the mask and everything, which is almost done. I just need one more piece and then we're good to go. But there is something else. There's another reason why we in general specifically stay hidden.
Why's that?
So I don't remember all the details. It's been a while since I've heard the story, but the way it was told to me is the first one of us, they were this hunter. This
I ran into him in the corridor. I didn't know who he was.
He, faster than you can imagine, leaps across and is his slamming all kinds of stuff in front of the door. Wait, what? Who? What?
He didn't notice me, Millie. Don't worry.
How? What do you mean the first? Who?
I can't remember his name, but Alice would.
It was Khalid. He just blinks for a moment. Oh my god, oh Millie, don't do that. No, that's not who I mean. Oh my gosh, no. Okay, he sails back down. No, Khalid he's a primogen. They're like the representation on the city council.
Oh, I misunderstood Roland there.
Who?
Sorry, sweetie, I didn't mean to scare you. Oh, he's an associate of Miss Bluebird's.
Right. Okay. Now there's a Rowan. Wait, do I know a Rowan? Anyway. But yeah, so I'm talking about the first Nosferatu. With before the flood, before, Noah's Ark first. Right?
Wait, that shit was real?
I mean, I wasn't there. I was turned in the 60s, so 1960s, so I don't know. But anyway, the story as it goes is there was a hunter, and they were very good, they were very powerful, they were very stealthy, they were very capable of bringing down all kinds of game, saber-toothed tigers, that kind of thing. We're talking like Dawn of Time kind of stuff. And he was very vain. He was very obsessed with his appearance. And he was turned by a woman who everyone claims was like the daughter of Cain, or one of the children of Cain, as in Cain and Abel, right? So, during the hunt, he's trying to hunt her and she's playing with him and everything. During the hunt, there's something that happens. It's just a little nick on his face, just a little scratch, or maybe it's even just the puncture marks from her fangs while they're wrestling or whatever, I don't know. But when he's turned, the mark remains. This one teeny tiny little mark that mars his perfection, and that is enough to send him
fucking insane. So, him and a lot of the others of his generation, they band together and they murder the other vampires that sired them. However, as a result, the first vampire, like the one, Cain, again, Cain and Abel, he curses all the vampires with different, this, that, and the other. Because of, well, his name wasn't Nosferatu. Someone once said it was Absimilard or something along those lines. I don't know. I've never seen it written down, but Absimilard. We'll go with that. But he was cursed with this. The looks. It's like, if that's how much you care about your looks, this is what you get. Now, the reason we're hiding isn't because of that curse so much, it's because of what he did next. He started siring just before the curse, but all of his other descendants, all of his other children and everything, they had this same curse. Everyone with his blood was cursed to look like this. Twisted. Yeah, but he then decided, okay, I'm gonna make it up to Cain. I apologize for doing all this stuff, so in order to make a sacrifice to Cain, I'm going to murder literally every single one of my bloodline until I'm the only one left. Now, clearly a lot of his children, all of his existing children, weren't a fan of that, so they fled, and he hunted them down and he killed them. And in the process, one of them survived, one of them escaped. We don't know her name, but she is supposed to be the survivor who went on to embrace, and that's how we got here, you know? That's the legend, that's the tale, that's the story, and it's like, oh, okay, pretty story, that's nice. Except, we know every now and then there is something out there that's hunting us. Have you ever heard the name Baba Yaga? As in, like
yes.
the movie, like John Wick, that kind of thing.
I was thinking more the Slavic lore, but yes,
Well,
I've heard it.
okay, yeah, sorry, I was trying to be a bit too contemporary, but yeah, the Slavic lore. A lot of people...
John Wick won't be out for another 30 years, it's the 90s. A reminder. We are actually in the year 2016, 2017. Okay.
Not a problem. That's fair. That's a fair reminder. So, but yeah. You see, there was a story about a witch in Russia, and she was basically ruling it with an iron fist. No one was able to come in and out of Russia without her say so, at least no one like us, She had the name Baba Yaga, and a lot of people in the community, they whisper to each other, and they think she was what's called a Niktuku. A Niktuku was the name given to the children that Absimilard created to hunt us down. Now, every now and then, you hear about a city going quiet. Not all the vampires, the regular vampires, the Toreador and the Ventrue and all that, they're fine. But every now and then, a group of Nosferatu just disappear. Warrens are emptied. Havens are gone. Nothing. No blood, nothing. Just gone. And sometimes people build up the courage to investigate, maybe
they just moved on to a different city or whatever, but they are never seen again. And I've heard a story, I don't remember which city it was, this was a long time ago, but someone tried to investigate one of these empty havens, and they heard something like laughing or chittering, or I don't know. It was a thing. There was a really nasty thing, and they went completely insane, and once they told the story, they went missing. So a lot of people, like the older ones, they think it's like Niktuku, or it's Absimilard, or it's something else, like, again, werewolves and the other things that live underground. I don't know, but there's a reason we try and keep to ourselves and keep hidden and safety. Paranoia, I don't know, but I'm not that clued in on details or anything. It's all conjecture. It's all just, you know, subjects and stories that are whispered over a campfire, that kind of thing. But probably do better to, some point soon, we should get you to like a gathering, and, you know, other people can share stories, that kind of thing. But
yes, Roland did mention I would need to, what was it he said? Present myself.
Yeah. And again, you're going to very soon. Again, still kind of freaking out that you have already met a bunch of us, which I didn't really want, but hey, there we are. At least this, you know.
You said to do what Bluebird said.
Yes, I did. I didn't think she would actually drag you out like this. This was supposed to be a temp job. You were supposed to be working in an office.
What I thought. And then I was helped hang up banners, and then I ended up being a showpiece at a gathering, and then next thing I know, I'm in a park with a vampire who is a couple of 1,000 years old, a few others, and Duke, that asshole.
Wait,
Oh,
what
by
was
the way,
that asshole doing there?
Oh, he was helping us hunt the werewolves. He's also a total coward.
He growls a little. Yeah. You know, at some point, I'd like to, you know what I'd like to do about that guy. I hate him. I don't know if it's better or worse that he was involved with this, because, again, provoking the werewolves is a very bad thing, Alice. Who were you with exactly? You mentioned Duke. Who else was there? And your friends?
Okay.
It was Anita Wainwright, and
Yes.
it was Rosa Hernandez.
She does remember this was a sanctioned hunt from the higher-ups because they were encroaching in our territory, wasn't it?
That's what you were told, yes.
Yeah. So she's gonna basically relate to that.
Oh no. Oh no.
Apparently
Oh.
the werewolves are getting very bold. With this particular pack. Don't worry, they are miles from here, sweetheart. They are clear on the other side of the city.
Okay, so that's one good thing, but here's the thing, Alice. There are no sanctioned attacks, period. No, but that Prince Jackson does not want anybody going over there and starting shit with the werewolves. No one is allowed. Not the Primogen like Hernandez. Not the leader of the Anarchs, Anita. Nobody.
Oh, well, I have been lied to, and I'm very annoyed about that.
Yeah, I'm a little bit annoyed as well, and worried because
Who was it who said it was a sanctioned hunt again?
it has been a while, but basically it was I think it was Hernandez. I think it was the Gangle Primogen Hernandez. So it was one of them, but that was basically, yeah, you get the feeling you guys were told a lie. And
It was like one of the, for lack of a better term, clan leaders.
Yes, 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 yes.
Ooh. You see, I thought because he was a big boss, he knew what he was talking about.
She, for clarification.
That she was talking about.
Yeah. No, okay. A little bit of history. In the 90s, when the werewolves hit us hard, both Anita and Rosa, they lost people. They've always been against the whole ceasefire, and they have always been down for...
Nothing shit up.
Yeah. Please tell me there weren't any survivors.
No.
Oh, that's something. But yeah,
We
no.
encountered two who saw us, and we made sure that they didn't tell anyone else.
Yeah, he looks at the teeth. Okay. I
am a wicked shot with a 45.
I mean, you're from the south. I would expect nothing less.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
But no, Alice, I'm glad you held your own. I'm so relieved to hear that. But seriously, you cannot trust what they said. You can never, ever tell anyone what you did, and you need to get in touch with Grigori and the rest of them and let them know. Because if anybody in the Camarilla finds out, you are all toast.
That is a fair point. Question, did Alice get, like, the mobile phone number of Grigori's twin servants?
I would assume that details were exchanged, yes.
You should whips out WhatsApp and just types going, we fucked up. Tell Grigori!
You get there's like, you see that brief thing where it says somebody is typing, and then it says, please elaborate. And then 3 dots that says, please do not elaborate.
It's like the group chat, multiple people are typing.
Yeah, kind of. While that's going on, Milton's like, so, a few things. I don't know Hernandez myself. She's not someone I've interacted with for obvious reasons, but you should know something. I've got a meeting later on tonight with Anita Wainwright. The reason I've been a little bit skittish about working with the Camarilla, I might have pulled some favors with the Anarchs, and I might need their help to finish off your cover story. So, on the good side of this,
True.
on the good side, if you helped her kill werewolves, then yay. On the bad side, you might be a liability. Yay. What do you want to do?
Well, that is the issue. Remind me, was she one of the ones who was impressed with the fight?
She was.
How Alice handled herself? Yeah.
She was, yes. You basically, the last you saw of Anita and Rosa, both of them were, shall we say, distracted by Bluebird's display of carnal violence. And the 3 women left. You're not sure what was going on there, although you're probably pretty sure what was going on there.
But she knows that they were impressed with her during the fight of the first werewolf.
Yeah.
They seemed to appreciate my talents at the time.
Okay.
To be honest, if I was a liability, they probably just would have killed me then and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, now a little bit more nervous about this meeting, but yeah. We should. I mean, I'm not going to get the information. You know, I'm not going to get what I need to finish off your, you know, ID without them. I was just gonna head down myself, but I don't know. Is it safe to bring you? Is it more dangerous? I don't know.
I'll leave that up to you, darling. At this point, she's gonna stand up and she's gonna like walk behind him and like drape her arms over his shoulders and just like lean her head on his shoulder.
Yeah.
I'll trust what you think is best. I'm sorry to be causing you a little bit of stress.
Little. No. You're fine. You're fine. I made this happen. All of this. This was my fault. I did this. I brought you into this. And I didn't explain things. I didn't do my job. I was a shit parent.
No, it wasn't your fault, honey. It was hers. And she's gonna flip up the phone and show the photo.
Where the... Did she see you?
Sometimes, no. Sometimes there's an advantage of being disguised in the public transport. But this is the bitch.
Right. Instantly, Milton heads up and he boots up one of his small laptops. You guys have clearly many different devices and systems throughout the Haven for various uses. This is one of the few that's actually connected to a public network. And he takes your phone, sends the message to himself, and starts getting to work. So, without even looking at you as he's tapping away, he's like, so Alice, for future reference, if anyone ever finds out you took a photograph of another one of us, you will be killed instantly. So don't let anyone know you did that. Never ever take a photograph of one of us, ever. But B, hold on. I'll find her. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I'll find her.
Yeah. I knew it was a calculated risk. And she's still like leaning over her shoulder and she's gonna hold her phone in front of him and show her deleting the photo.
Good girl. Proud of you.
Oh,
So,
love it when you say that.
As Milton does his detective work and everything, it is my question to you, the player. Do you want a final scene, a confrontation or conversation with Anita Wainwright and the reclaiming of your documents so Alice can finally be able to present herself without fear of being staked and left in the sun? Or do you wish to call it here? It is entirely up to you.
A good idea to wrap that up.
Okay, yeah, so that was our first solo vignette.
Sorry, I meant we'll wrap up the storyline. Sorry, I realized the double entendre.
Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's good, yeah, no, we're good. I'm actually down. I'm down for a full 3-hour solo session. I love it.
I do the words good.
I make word good too. Seriously, so above table, we're going to carry on, but above table, I have an entire list of businesses that will mean nothing to you, Nicola, but Dee will probably giggle a little. When we were talking about
happy.
Yeah, when we were talking about the fast food and everything, I was going to mention O'Tolly's fast food trash is everywhere. I did mention toys by Avalon Plastics, like the Mr. Mystic, and of course a few broken bottles from King Distilleries all over the place. Easter eggs, they're delicious, aren't they? Not just for Easter, but yes. So, we're gonna head out now, and we are gonna bring ourselves back to...
we do sneak out, can
Yeah.
Alice pick herself up a little rat pre-sun?
Yes, let's do. Yes. So Milton at the moment he doesn't have anything on tap. There, you guys are kind of the fridge is kind of empty at the moment. But you can do. I wanted an opportunity to play around with the hunting rules. So let me just bring those up real fast. Hunting. Okay. Now. Let's see. For you, I'd say we don't really have much here.
Let's see, the entrance to the litter is on the other side. She's gone into the covered kitty litter and is now kind of staring at the back corner and pawing at it, trying to get out. I'm trying to tell her to turn around. Missy, sweetheart. There you go. There's the door.
Lesser.
Purry, sweetheart.
Yeah. As you're heading through the sewers on the way down, you're going to try and grab a Raprisun on the way. Give me, let's call it, for you, I would say stealth and... dexterity, because there's plenty of rats around. Finding them is not the issue. It's trying to stay quiet and hidden and let them get close enough to you and then be fast enough to catch them. So stealth and dexterity, the difficulty for this one is going to be 3. Five successes.
I'm gonna say if she can, she's gonna try, and if you'll allow it, I'll try and grab one for Millie as well.
Absolutely. With a margin of 2, that's not an issue. You please explain how you double fist these guys. That sounded so wrong.
It really did.
Yikes!
That's something for later, Millie. I saw that you were drinking when I made that joke.
Vampire the Masquerade is a dark and adult story filled with grim and sinister content, such as double fisting rats. Moving on.
Well, to be fair, Millie is her daddy.
Indeed.
He's very, very proud.
She's basically going to kind of creep up on a few wee rats as she sees gathered together and just very slowly move through the shadows. And when she gets close enough, just to the point where the rats watch her, she just jumps out and grabs them both. And I'm going to assume Milton is just like back down the corner going, oh, so proud.
Yeah, daddy's little killer. No, literally, he is really proud of your skill set at this point.
He is my little killer.
But yes.
Have him present him his rat.
Oh, thank you, darling. It's just scurrying around saying, oh, thank you. You do so. Seriously, you make me so proud. That literally just rips the head off and is just like drinking it like a Raprisun. So you are able to recover 1 point of hunger.
3.
Do that. Yes, just the 1. And of course, it isn't going to clear your hunger completely. The only way you can do that is to kill a living sentient creature. Or a touchstone such as Nip.
Yeah.
But yes. So, we find ourselves now back in the streets of Chicago. Making our way further up north, out of the city proper and closer to the location that you and Milton first started this journey. This is Anarch territory. This is where the jurisdiction of the Caramilla and the protection of the Caramilla ends. and this is where those unbound, the Anarchs, tend to make their homes. You know, Duke, what would you describe your relationship with Bruja at this point?
Well, she was pretty friendly with Bruja. They got on quite well.
Yes.
But unfortunately, she's under the thumb of Duke. And Duke might be holding a tiny grudge.
A little tiny grudge. Just a little one, yeah. I'm sure that's not going to be an issue at any point. But yeah, you make your way through the various streets and everything. You find your way to a newspaper office. It's fairly nice, old-looking building. It's not one of the big ones. It's more of a more small local paper. And Milton just like, don't forget the face. And he basically appears as this very generic, bland looking individual, instantly forgettable features, though the chunky glasses kind of remain.
Oh, hey, that's what you use for your profile picture.
Yeah, I know. Wasn't the best, but you know. Would you have hit like if you what is it the kids say? Would you have swiped left if you'd seen the alternative?
You know, I honestly don't know how to answer that, because I'd known you for months before I saw the picture.
Well,
You were an absolute sweetheart. And she like pinches little cheek.
Oh, well, thanks, hon. But anyway, yeah. So just gonna head inside. Just follow my lead. I've done a bunch of work with these people before, so just play it cool, all right?
Yes, Daddy.
Oh, also, and face.
Oh, yes.
and if memory serves, it's a rouse check for you. You do not get hungrier. Very good. So, two very plain, generic-looking individuals, maybe computer technicians, maybe sewage repair people, who knows, enter the building. Nobody really pays you any mind, but you find yourselves heading past the main foyer into the basement of this location.
Well, we're supposed to wait here for her. Shouldn't be too much longer. But yeah, thank you for coming with me, and again, proud of you, love. Just
Oh, and I have a question before we continue. Some bookkeeping, some very, very important bookkeeping. Alice. Where is the gun with the silver bullets?
I don't know whether or not Gagori took that back, or if she still has it.
I'm gonna say first come, first serve. You are the first person to get your solo session, so you get to declare where it is.
Say she would give it back.
Fair enough. Second question, where...
Millie probably doesn't like guns.
He's not a fan. He's not a fan. Second question, where are the werewolf teeth?
She left them down in the lair.
They have been left in the lair, along with backup.
Yeah, he's in the little fair enclosure we took down there.
Okay, good to know. So, after a couple of minutes, you hear the sound of doors opening above and the sound of steps, as eventually, get down here to, well, I would say one very familiar figure appears around the corner. Milton, thank you for agreeing to speak with us on such notice. I know you two have done work in the past, but you remember Bobby, don't you? and another person comes around the corner. He's much like Anita, a quote-unquote normal-looking individual. It's like red hair, sort of a like well-dressed in like expensive-looking tracksuits, if that makes sense. He's wearing that sort of jean and trainer combo of
He looks like a Slavic mobster.
not quite a Slavic mobster, more either that maybe, or maybe one of those millionaire tech guys.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
The tracksuit that's worth more than a house.
pretty much. Hi Milton, good seeing you again, son. And who's the this is the girl, yeah? Anita nods. Hi, pleasure to meet you. The name's Bobby. Milton and me, we do some work together on occasion. Milton suppresses an eye roll. Yeah, we collaborate on occasion. Do you mind if I tell her? I'd rather you didn't. Well, okay, fair enough. But yeah, me and Milton, we've been working on getting a, I believe, a mask set up for you, Alice. Is that correct?
Yes, I do greatly appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, it's no problem at all. My associate, I believe you're familiar with Miss Wainwright.
Yes, we have met upon occasion. It is lovely to see you again, my dear.
She nods. Likewise. Bobby, would you and Milton like to finalize the last bits of work for the mask? I'd like to have a private conversation with Alice, if you don't mind, Milton. He looks a little concerned. But,
I'll be alright, sweetheart.
Alright, I'll just be in the other room. Miss Wainwright? Come on then, Hurricane, show me what you got. He said, don't. She doesn't know who you are. No one cares. And,
You have to use my... Don't use my real name.
yeah. I would say this, actually. Alice, would Alice be the sort of person who would... Is Alice more tech-minded, or is it the fact that the reason that she and Milton got together is because... is she a tech person, basically?
Well, she was a graphic artist and did website design.
Okay, then. She probably... The name Hurricane wouldn't mean much to her, then. Also, I do apologize. Sirenscape has decided to absolutely crap itself on my end, so I will just... Apologies to the stream. Technology, it is what it is, but yeah. So, it is just you and Anita at the moment. She steps over to you and leans against the wall. Well, thank you for coming down to see us. How are you feeling, by the way? Well rested from the evening? No injuries or anything like that?
Oh no, a good rest and I'm perfectly fine. I do appreciate the concern. And yourself, you're doing well?
I'm fine. I'm actually very well rested.
Delightful.
Didn't expect last night to go quite as well as it did. Where do I begin? So, Milton is a wonderful boy. He's been helping us out for a while now, doing little jobs for the movement. You know about the Anarch movement, I'm assuming.
Remember if Alice knows about that?
I would say you know there's loosely, there's the Anarchs, there's the Camarilla. The Camarilla will chop your head off if you're from the wrong bloodline, Anarchs, maybe not. That's probably it.
Unfortunately, I'm still learning the history and important people.
I see. Let me give you the basics. The Camarilla are an old boys club who think that they run everything, that every single one of us, every single kindred, should bend the knee and lick the boot. They're jackbooted thugs. They are everything that is wrong with this world. Every single corrupt business, every political disaster, corruption, self-interest, that's them.
Sounds like capitalism, my dear.
Yeah. No, they didn't invent capitalism, they just simply are that.
I suppose it's very easy to make use of it if you're around a lot longer than the average person. But yes, sorry to interrupt. Please do continue.
I was turned in the 1950s. I was, well, I say 50s, it was more the 60s, but the riots. I was there. I protested segregation of buses. I was there when this city started to fight back against the injustice that was going on in the world. I've spent my whole life fighting against what turns out is people like them. That's why I joined the Anarchs. I wasn't around at the time, but hundreds of years ago, before the Camarilla existed, we were the new people, the younger crowd. We were just thrown into the front lines like, meat. We were slaves, we were servants. You know how some people treat their ghouls? That's how we were treated by the elders.
Thinks back to bluebirds and shudders.
We started fighting back, started turning on them. Some of us were able to break free of the bonds that they had controlling us. It was revolution. And out of that, the elders decided, oh, it's okay, we heard you, we're gonna play nice from now on, and we're gonna make a nice new system where you have a say and a voice, and it's called the Camarilla, and we're gonna protect you as long as you follow the rules and do exactly what we say. And we said, fuck you.
Same old system with an illusion of freedom. That sounds about right.
I knew I liked you, Alice. But yeah, pretty much. Of course, at the time, other people in our group, the Fuck the Camarilla, they apparently took things a little too far the other way. Have you ever heard the name Sabat? Well,
It sounds familiar, but I can't quite place my finger on it.
the Sabat were people who, at the same time they broke away from, the founding of the Camarilla, they said, fuck you, same as we did, but instead of actually trying to live with the mortals, actually trying to make the world a better place, they just decided that they wanted to be the new elders. They wanted to be blood gods, devour the world. They're a deranged bunch of maniac, blood-drunk animals. And, yeah. I'm not a big fan of them. However, I am old enough to remember them being a little bit better than what they are today. These days, the Sabbat are, they've just evolved into this insane blood cult, pretty much. Now, up until a couple of years back, they were a little more, I would say, a nastier version of the Camarilla. I wasn't a fan of them, either of them. However, some people from the Sabbats were not as deranged and culty as the others. And in recent times, a large number of people have wanted to switch from one faction to the other. I have helped facilitate that to a few people, but I have been keeping a very close eye on them. I am disappointed to say that one particular individual has not been meeting up with my expectations. Mutual acquaintance of ours, Mr. Duke.
Oh.
He did not declare himself as Sabbat when he joined us. More, he was independent who was struggling from oppression of the Camarilla in New York. I, however, am nobody's fool, and I am, you will learn, very well connected when it comes to information and finding out who people are. I recently discovered that Mr. Duke and his coterie were actually members of a Sabbat pack. And the reason they fled New York was not just because the Camarilla were persecuting them, it's because they were trying to get away from the rest of the Sabbat. Now, this puts me in a very awkward position, as I vouched for them. And I can't really lose face on something like this. However, Alice, I've become aware in my working with Milton about you and your relationship with Mr. Duke and his new ghoul, Bruja. Sorry, I'm laughing. I don't think we've formally been introduced properly, but I'm of the Bruja clan. I'm laughing because she's a Toreador, he's a Toreador, and apparently she didn't even know that Bruja were a thing before she chose the name. It's cute. But
If I remember correctly, Bruja is just Spanish for witch.
I know. This game was written in the 90s by a bunch of white dudes.
Yeah, true.
I know. But yeah. I want to offer you a favor, Alice. Or an opportunity for you to repay a favor. I have provided Bobby, my friend in the next room, with all the information and all the expertise that he needs to finish your mask. And the Camarilla's best hackers won't be able to realize the deception. In return,
the Camarillas weren't all that up on technology.
That's what they want you to think. Now, PFJ, I'm sorry, Prince fucking Jackson, as we call him. PFJ, he's new. He's not one of the old guys. He's smart enough to know the technology and education of the future. He doesn't want to be left behind. He doesn't want to be some moldering old creature talking about sending a sparrow or, I don't know how old we're talking, like sundials or something. You know what I mean? He's modern. He's not stupid. he knows technology is important, and even though they say we're not allowed cell phones and all that jazz, they have some pretty decent tech people on their end. So you do need my help.
That is true.
So in return for the favor that I'm giving you, I would like you to do a favor for me. I'm actually going to give you some choices. Some of them are going to be a little more interesting to you than the other. Number one, I would like Duke, the problem, to go away. I would like you to make sure that this happens in a way that doesn't come back to me, and preferably doesn't come back to you, because I like you, Alice. I don't want anything bad to happen to you. We've spilled blood together, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate you keeping that quiet.
I was just gonna smirk a little bit and go, don't know what you mean. What happened to that puppy was an accident.
Good girl. Good girl. But yeah, there's that. And in return, I might throw in an extra favor. I know you're a big fan of Miss Isabella, Miss Bruja. Who's to say if the poor girl is without someone to take care of her, you don't take Duke's place? I, of course, couldn't say one way or the other what happens to her. It's entirely up to you, but that might be a fringe benefit. The other way you can repay a favor, Rosa Hernandez, the Gangro Primogen, the woman who was with us that night. I've been trying to get her into bed with us for a while now, and between you and me, thanks to your mutual friend Bluebird, I kinda did that in a way I was not anticipating. Never considered myself part of the girls' club, but sure, gets the job done. I want you and your friends to work on her, to make her realize that the Camarilla is just not worth her time, her effort. I want her with us, fully with us. And the few gangrel that remain in the Camarilla will join us. So.
Well, she didn't seem overly impressed with the current leadership, so it may not take much convincing.
I will say this, she's stubborn. She believes that because the Gangrel have been a part of Camarilla for however many years, that they owe them loyalty, and it's laudable and everything, but it's stupid. The Camarilla are loyal to no one but themselves, and whoever they decide is Camarilla in the moment. Gangrel are on the way out, and I want Hernandez on our side. These are your options, and my dear, if you do both, then I will absolutely owe you a very, very big favor indeed.
Well, let's just focus on me repaying you this wonderful favor first.
That seems fair. So,
But
it's your
I will
choice.
do what I can.
Just remember, I need you to make sure that whatever you do, the Camarilla doesn't find out. We have never met. We have not had this conversation. Do you understand?
Oh, yes.
Good. Thank you again for your assistance, Alice, and I do look forward to working with you again in the future, should this work out.
My dear, I could very much say the same.
She extends a hand. Do you take it?
Alice will shake her hand.
Welcome to the Anarch movement.
Dun-dun-dun.
So, I would say with that, Milton eventually comes back in along with Mr. Bobby, whoever he may be. And,
Oh, hey, Millie. Just in time. I just signed us up to do a few dangerous... I'm joking, dear. Don't worry.
he both tenses up. He's like, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I signed a comedian. Wonderful.
Sweetheart, you enjoy the fun.
He is unable to deny in front of witnesses and is unhappy about it. So, you guys eventually make your way out, say your farewells for the evening, and you head back out into the streets of Chicago itself. And I do believe that, for the time being, brings things to a close. Unless there are any final things that Alice wishes to do.
We swing by Gregori's place. I'm gonna need to borrow a gun. No, I'm joking. She doesn't say
Yeah.
that.
Oh, jeez.
She will, however, explain the conditions to Milton once they are safely back home.
Oh, shit. Well, that's fair because, yeah, Bobby, he gave me some conditions as well. He wants me to hack into the Caramilla finances and start draining money into Anarch accounts. Yay! Guess we're Anarchs.
Meeting. If anyone can do it, you can.
Yeah, well, this is true. This is true. But yeah. So, if anyone ever finds out, the Camarilla will absolutely kill us. Wonderful.
Well, to be fair, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, so we may as well have a little bit of fun.
Yeah. I mean, we are damned. He reaches over and grabs a rat. Rat your son.
Of course, honey.
And I think we will end things there. So, holy moly. First, that was a full session. That was 2.5 hours of solo RP there. What the fuck?
Listen to it.
Hmm.
You did a good job on roleplay, Jonas. You were really good.
Yes.
Oh, well,
Good
thank
job.
you, honey. I do love Alice's voice.
Yeah, it's a good one to play, I bet.
Yeah, Alice
My voice
is
is all jacked up right now because I just had dental surgery.
Oh, honey, I'm sorry about that.
No.
But
I
yeah.
had double tooth extraction.
Ooh, nasty.
Yikes.
One of them was a canine.
Ooh.
That is...
They're the longest teeth and the hardest to extract.
Yeah.
And the most painful.
Well, I do apologize to the viewers on stream. Unfortunately, Sirenscape just towards the end, I'd say it's about 2 hours in, and it just decides, yeah, no, we're done, we're finished.
You never know.
Yeah, I would have to check the recording to see where it actually cuts out and everything, but it is what it is.
I enjoyed the game.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah. This is definitely the first time I've ever done something like this, and again, I was worried that I wouldn't have enough content, but yeah, no, there was a whole other thing I had planned. So no word of a lie, right before we started the session, I actually this morning I swapped some things around. when you first saw the person who murdered you on the subway train, originally it wasn't going to be them. I had something different planned. But I decided to swap it out for them and make it a bit more personal. Would you like to know who you ran the risk of bumping into on the train?
Ooh, I want to know.
Ooh.
Somebody with a pulse. Somebody who was smelling around and was very curious about where you got that tooth from, Leech.
Yeah. Oh, yikes.
A woof?
A woof. A woofer, yes. Just because werewolves aren't allowed in the city, I never said that means it doesn't happen. So
Yeah. Fully figure.
Yeah.
The woof's toofs are mine. Well, one for me, one for Millie.
Every time you say Millie, I get confused for a second because Millie is my my cow.
Oh, yes.
I'm like, Millie, what? What is Millie doing? Oh, okay.
But yeah, any
she'll make it up to Milton whenever they get home.
Yeah.
Help him relax.
Yeah, he needs the stress relief, so that is absolutely canon. That is absolutely canon. So whatever you wish to imagine there. And again, the canonical scene of Bluebird seducing both Rosa and Anita because of the amazing roles that you did earlier in the year. Yeah, that was that became a major plot point. So,
I didn't expect that.
No,
I was really surprised by that. That was a really good thing to see.
Yeah, so people don't need
I quite
to
enjoyed that.
Oh, I'm glad, honey. But yeah, people don't need to go back and watch the first 4 episodes. But if you wish to, yeah, that is all there to see on the YouTube. Any final thoughts? We met Rowan, a very friendly, gender fluid Nosferatu. We actually learned a lot.
Rowan's cool.
Yeah, I like Rowan. Rowan's a really interesting character.
I was gonna keep him in her back pocket. He could be interesting.
There's also mention of some of the nice Nosferatu and the not so nice Nosferatu. We also learned about a little bit of history of the clan. The reason some Nosferatu think that they stay underground.
The
what?
Some Nosferatu stay underground. Is that what you said?
Yes, the reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which was that weird about the curse? I didn't even know that.
No, there is actually a whole thing about they think they're being hunted by the Niktuku. Whether or not they actually are, well, we'll see where things go.
I have an opinion on that because of something that happened with Bluebird.
Yeah.
Yeah, the creature in the park.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, giggling. Okay.
You were well, we'll. That's something for the future. That's something for the future. But yes,
DeVillo.
Yes. Hello. I know you do, and I love you for it. But yeah, thank you all for joining us for this first stream in ages. Vampire the Masquerade, Sirenscape, of course, living up to the terms. Our first foray using Foundry for this. Thank you all for joining. It's been a genuine pleasure. Not sure when the next one will be, but it is my hope that we get a whole bunch of these little one-shots with our various vampires as they go about their little day-to-day. So, any final comments that you all want to make before I end the public side of this?
Just, I enjoy being a visitor and a guest, and I love you guys.
Always welcome.
That'd be too sweet.
Yeah.
So. Yes, I enjoyed having a little bit of fun with Alice.
Yeah, it's good to have Alice back. I love that character. But anyway, be good to yourselves.
We have a picture of his little subordinate, and if we find her, we find Duke. And if we find out where Duke sleeps, maybe we can sabotage it.
Some
Or
things
just
are planned.
hide out and then put a bullet in his head when he sleeps.
Mm. Yeah, that will do the trick. Bullets will definitely kill him.
Duke, you're fired.
Alright.
Yes! Someone write that down. Someone make a note. Someone make a note of that. That's amazing. Anyway, be safe, be well.
Do you remember that little coat you lent me earlier? Can I borrow that again? No reason.
Glorious.
Don't worry about it.
Are we off the stream?
No, I'm being polite. But anyway, be safe, be awesome. Love you all. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.